first. Here. Okay, here's the update. I feel hella better. A hell of a lot better. I think I'm realizing that for me, it's about speaking my truth. And I'm grateful to my clients because I learned it from them as I was helping them out. Is I just need to speak my truth. That's what I'm realizing. I just need to speak my truth. And I'll feel better. You me. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I hadn't realized that before. Thinking about all my other clients, female clients mostly. And their challenges with speaking their truth and being heard. It's the same theme. And realizing that that's all I had to do, really. And go through the emotional piece of it. Because I feel a hell of a lot better. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay if he, chooses not to do anything with it. I'm okay if he chooses to, move on. I'm okay. I'm okay. I just needed to speak my truth. So I'm grateful for this lesson. I'm grateful for my clients. I'm grateful for this awareness that that's all I needed to do was speak my truth. And I was even thinking about it too. This element of like, I put in my message, you don't have to change. You don't do anything you don't want to do. And I'm honest about that because I remember what he told me. He told me, what am I going to do? Ask you to change who you are? And I appreciated that. And I'm extending that same courtesy back to him, that he doesn't have to do anything because these are my triggers. These are my wounds to heal. Now, if I choose not to move forward with him, then that's what I choose based on his response. Because I'm looking for someone who is willing to change, who wants to change, who isn't going to do it for me, but who's going to do it for themselves, right? Who's going to do it for themselves? Wait a minute, now that I just said that out loud. Does that contradict the whole, like, I was that interested in him? Well, no, yeah, like, that was my choice, right? I was that interested in him that I wanted to learn. So I listened. Because I just tend to improve myself and I take information in that manner, right? And if he doesn't want to, then that's his choice. But here's the thing, and that's what I was explaining to my clients, because they're like, well, then what if their people, right, don't respond in the way that they're hoping? And I'm like, well, then that tells you something. That's what I told them yesterday. I was like, well, what does that tell you then? Because silence speaks loudly if you know how to listen. So if he chooses not to listen, right, that communicates to me where he's at. And then that'll communicate to me, let me keep going, right? I'm just so grateful that I didn't get caught up, like, so emotionally invested. I mean, that was close. That was close. That was a close one right there. But that, hence, right? Yeah. I clearly got emotional. I was triggered. And I really like him, but at the same time, I'm not going to ask him to change who he is if he doesn't want to. I spent 14 years of my life in a marriage trying to change the other person, when in his birth chart, right, he was just being who he was. So I've learned my lesson on trying to change other people. Like, if they accept it, great, and if they don't, I move on. So, is there a certain expectation? Yes. And here's the other thing that I mentioned to one of my clients. This particular client was very focused on, well, what if this person is the one? And then I'm like, well, then you're putting your eggs all in one basket, right? I didn't say that to her, but I'm just thinking that out loud right now. I'm like, if you're making the assumption that this person might be it. Now, it's a little more challenging for me because I actually see their potential future in a dream state. So it's a little more challenging to decipher, to separate a potential future that I'm seeing for this person, right? Well, I guess everyone sees a potential future. Mine are just so vivid. Whereas everyone else's is more like I hope this one's the one, right? And for me, it's more of like, I just see people, and then it's like I have to get the dream to see it, I guess. I don't know. I'm still learning. This is the first time I see. No, it's not the first time I see someone's potential energy, because I saw it with Hannah too, and I saw it with a person from my past when we were talking about projects he wanted to work on. Like I literally saw it unfold, like visually, but there I saw it in the moment, and that was when I was still very like raw. Here it's in my dream state now. I see it. I don't necessarily see it in front of someone like I used to. And I think that's more because I'm assuming there's this element of balancing out after you have that spiritual awakening, because everything is so heightened during that time period, right? That after you kind of work through the energy, maybe it tones down. And what needs to stay highlighted will stay highlighted, and what doesn't tones down, is my understanding. But anyways, yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Because I woke up feeling good. I woke up feeling like I had a dream, and in my dream, I made a few mistakes, but I was like good. Like in terms of I feel good. Even though I made some mistakes, I got this. I got this. So I woke up feeling good, and I was like, oh, maybe that's all I needed to do, right? Was just to speak my truth. And how he chooses to receive it will be how he chooses to receive it, but then that will indirectly then communicate to me where he's at in terms of his willingness to change, right? Oh, so anyways, so going back to what I was telling my client. So I said this out loud to her, and then right now I'm just like, Dayumi, you need to write that one on Post-it for yourself. I told her, I said, what if we entertain the idea that the people you meet are not the one? I said, that way the expectations are lower. And then I'm like, and that way you can just view each person as a lesson. So even though I did that, right, with this person, I initially viewed him as a lesson, but what made it hard was that vision, that dream. That's what made it hard for me to kind of like let go, really. And I wonder if maybe that's why I got it in that manner, was because I have to work on letting people go, right? Yeah, I gotta work on letting people go. So guess what? I'm just realizing it. Guess what? The lessons are gonna be harder. Not harder each time. I just got that awareness of just, there's going to be more of an emotion, like it's going to be more challenging to let someone go because of all of these other factors that I see, right? But now that I'm aware of it, I can take it as a grain of salt a little more. I think with each time I'll be like, okay, yeah, I see your potential energy, but we're gonna put a pin on that one. It ain't gonna be in my forefront. I think that's what it is, and it's so interesting because nada más cuando nos conviene, right? We set these, we are okay with people not changing. Nada más cuando nos conviene. Only when it's convenient for us do we allow people to not change if they don't have to. And here's why I'm saying this. Because then if someone wrongs us, we want them to change. We want them to change. And then we or if someone does something that goes against our beliefs, we want them to change, right? We put the Bible in their face, right? We come on, convert, right? Come on, change the laws, right? Come on, like we're more pushy. We're more pushy when there's a violation or an intrusion, right? of one's space, instead of taking a step back and recognizing what is being triggered for me about this experience, right? And owning my part in it, just my part, because it's an interaction. And then wondering too, so that came to mind in terms of me questioning, like, wow, how is it that, between me and him, there's this awareness that we're not going to try to change each other, right? Because we're going to try to accept each other for who you are. And that's where I realize, I'm like, I'll accept him as who he is, but only as a friend. Until I see something different, right? Until I see, like, in terms of what my standards are, what's important to me, my values in a more intimate relationship. But when it comes to other people who trigger us, we're quick to try to impose our beliefs or convert them or change their ways before first taking a step back and looking at myself. I mean, imagine if we all did that. Imagine what would happen if we all did that. If when we were triggered, instead of immediately reacting emotionally, we each took a step back to look within, to look at what wound might be being highlighted for me, and that person do the same thing for them, right? Because as I'm sharing this, the other side conversation, imaginary side conversation that I had was with another, like, old friend of mine who has no problem speaking up, right? And for them, they're like, yeah, well, why don't you speak up? And then me realizing, well, it's easy for you to say because that's not your wound to heal. They have another wound to heal, right? This one happens to be my wound. This speaking up happens to be my challenge, right? And hence why it's going to keep being highlighted over and over and over again. For that other person, it might be something else. It might be something else. So that's what I was thinking about this morning. Putting the puzzle pieces together in that way. To learn to look at people not as being the one, but instead of like, what are you going to teach me? What are you going to teach me? What are you going to show me that is still needing my attention within me? And already kind of anticipating that that's the experience that I'm going to have. And being okay with how that unfolds, right? However it unfolds, and accepting that however it unfolds needed to unfold in that manner for me to see something that I didn't see before. To check my own frequency, right? To check what vibe I'm giving off based on, if I'm too closed off or if I'm too open, right? Where I'm allowing anybody in, right? Or I'm being too trusting, too accepting of everybody, right? Versus saying, no, I don't like this. No, I don't like that, right? Because I'm afraid to hurt other people's feelings. Damn. These are lots of lessons. But I feel good. That's all that matters right now. It's like I woke up, I'm like, I feel good. I feel better. I feel relieved. And I think I just needed to go through that motion, right? The realization, right? That I had expectations. Not realizing it until that happened. And then being able to communicate that as best as I could. Which, I know I'll get better with time. And being okay with changing my mind. I'm so glad that we set those agreements before. That we can always change my mind, right? So now I'm going to take a step back, and I'm grateful. I'm kind of grateful that I may not have a lot of communication with him right now, because I kind of really want to go back to focusing on my projects and my work, and for these next 2 months. continue to be grateful. I just feel so good. I feel relaxed. I'm sleepy. It's gonna be a long day today. I'm sleepy. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clients this morning. My break is at 3, and then I have 5 clients later on tonight. That's 11 clients in one day. It's gonna be back to back. Back to back. So, and tomorrow will be similar. Yeah, it's just gonna be the opposite tomorrow. It'll be a shorter morning, and but I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So here we go. 2 long days, and then I get to go back and drive and feel free as I drive like a bird far, far, far away. Love driving. Alright, that's it. Bye.
Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.